Did you have a welcome to the NBA moment where you were just like, this is a different level?
Oh yeah, yeah. There was back to my rookie year. We're on a road trip. I think at this point I'm coming off the bench. I think I was the second wing off the bench. So we get into the game and playing the Warriors in Oracle. Kevin Durant's on the team, and so I like get switched on to him, and so right away I'm like, all right, I'm guarding Kevin Durant. Obviously, freaking out a little bit. And so right away, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get in this guy. Like, he can't just baby me right now on TV. So I tried to pressure him and he loses the ball, goes out to half court. So right on, I'm like, hell yeah. Like, this guy's about to pick it up. He's going to give it up. I'm going to be good. So I follow him out to half court. I'm like, I'm pressuring this guy. Like, what? And he catches it. He like looks at the shot clock. There's like 6 seconds left and takes like three dribbles. He just left hand, three dribbles, gets to around 18 feet, just hits me with a quick shoulder in the chest and just fades away, bangs it two. And as he's going back in defense, he's backpedaling, just goes, "Welcome to the league, Rook." And so that was my first moment of like, God, these guys are just unbelievable. Again, yeah, I'm guarding Kevin Durant. I think I'm doing a great job. He loses the ball. He's at half court, and he just hits like the easiest dribble pull up on me. And we had guys on our team, like Torian Prince at the time, like broke down laughing on the court. You can actually see it in film. He literally like turned and looked at me with like the biggest smile on his face because he was guarding him. But I think that was definitely one of my welcome to the NBA moments. It's at least one I remember very vividly.
I always say this about Kevin. It's like guarding him is impossible for a number of reasons. One of which is that the referees allow him to carry the ball every time he dribbles it.
Yeah,
And when he came on the podcast, I pointed this out to him, and he admitted it.
he
So when you
did.
say he took three dribbles, he had three discontinued dribbles by the by
Wow.
the by the rule book. I'm just letting you know that.
Credit for him for admitting to it. A lot of guys won't now. I mean, when you get to that level, they let you get away with a lot too. So each guy kind of has his little niche he gets away with.
I brought up this that story of Lloyd bringing you to the playoffs a few years ago. I think it was either game 3 or 4 in Philly. It might have been game 6 as well, but it was one of the Philly games in the Toronto series. And just to be around the environment, whatever. But having just gone through the war, having just gone through the battle, like what are some lessons, some takeaways that you have from your first playoff run?
I mean, they're endless. I think right away just the intensity of the games is picked up so much, and each game it feels like it means something. And that was it was an adjustment for me coming from college. I guess was obviously how long the NBA season is, and you could be on game whatever 60, and honestly there's a lot of nights you show up to the gym and it's tough to mentally want to play that night, and it's you show up and you're tired, you're mentally tired, and it's a long marathon type of year. And then it was kind of refreshing to get to the playoffs, and just each game just felt super important. And I guess that was something in our 2 years, my first 2 years, we didn't have enough of those games, but it was nice to feel like you're playing in meaningful basketball. How you prepare for each game, and again the level of intensity, how the game is officiated. I feel like it was like real basketball, and that was something for me that people going into it, our media, everyone on the outside was, can the Hawks, can they handle the physicality? The NBA playoffs are so much different, and they're probably even 10 years ago, the way that game was officiated is a lot different than it was today. But for me, it was back to real basketball. The bumps where you're sliding and they call the block as a guy, like all the little ticky tack fouls that they call over the course of the year that most of the superstars get. And you're looking at refs and they really don't have a good response of why they called the foul. Like all those fouls were thrown out, and it was legit basketball. It was physical, but I think that's just taken away, like it kind of talked about earlier, is staying in the moment and staying game by game. Not looking at a series as a whole, but looking at it as each individual matchup and each individual battle. And it's something I think Milwaukee's talked about. They've dropped game 1 of the past 3 series, and it kind of seems like they just feel teams out. And again, they changed so much from game 1 of our series to game 2, and it's same thing in the finals now. Like each individual matchup is so important, that hopefully we're in these positions moving forward again. And obviously in the future that we can stay in the moment. You don't look at series of 7 games. You look at them as game 1 and game 2. And but there's so many. I mean, the playoffs were a lot of fun, and there's a lot of things you learn from it.